Hello and welcome to another segment. Today we'll be talking about another topic, very important topic, which is quadratic equation. And if you can remember very well, we started this since the last time we met. And if you look at the topic is to continue with quadratic equation. And if you can remember vividly, I said quadratic equation has four methods. Our number one method, if you could remember, we call it factorization method. The second one, we have completing the square method. I think that is where we stop. So today we'll be moving to another method, which is called the formula method. Many people call this almighty formula. Almighty formula. So we can call it almighty formula, quadratic formula, formula method, etc. Now, then after that, we talk about what we call the graphical method. But before that, I could remember I gave you some work to work on and drop your comment at the comment section. Okay, let's quickly check that. Let's quickly check that before we move to today's class. The questions says we have x squared minus 2x minus 15 is equal to 0. Is equal to 0. And if you look at this very well, this particular question, the question say solve by using completing the square method. Completing the square method, remember, completing the square method. You know, like I've said before, we have general method, we have completing the square method, we have formula method, and we also have the graphical method. But today we'll be talking about this. But before that, let's quickly solve this. And the question says, solve this by using completing the square method. What are we going to do? So this is what we are going to do. We say x squared minus 2x. We carry the constant to the other side. This is left hand side, while this place is what? Right hand side. So we carry this one to the other side, which will give us 15. You know, positive 15. From minus to the other side, it will change to plus, and that is positive. Now, what do we do now? We take the what? The second constant, not the first constant. This one is square. The first constant is 1. The second constant is minus 2. We find the half of the second constant. So let's find the half. We have minus 2 minus, we have 1 all over 2 times minus 2. We want to find the half of this. Finding the half of the second constant, we say 2 here 1, 2 here 1. So 1 times minus 1 will give us minus 1. So what do we do to this minus 1? So we what? We power this minus 1. We square minus 1 and we add it to both sides. So squaring minus 1 and add to both sides. Squaring minus 1 and add to both sides. So let's do that. What do we have here? We have x squared minus 2x plus, look at it, see the English, and add to both sides. To both sides. So let's add to both sides. So we have bracket open minus 1 all square is equal to, what is the second number here? The right hand side. We have 15, then plus, what do we have? We have minus 1 all square. Looking at, you are going to see that we added minus 1 to the left hand side and to the right hand side. Looking at this, we have 3 variables here. Then we have 2 variables here. So what do we do next now? We take the square at the left hand side. Those ones that are square, we take them at the left hand side. We take them together. Which one has squares here? We have x squared and we have minus 1 squared. Then we have x squared. Then this is minus. We have minus 1. So both of them are square. So we just say what? All bracket 2. You can see? That means that those ones that have square. For example, now we have a, and we have what? A square, and we have b square. We can say a, then plus what? A plus b, all square. It's the same thing. So likewise, the same thing. Now, what do we have now? We say we have 15. If you look at this, if you could remember, sometimes ago, I taught you something about this. When you have -1 all square, it's different from -1 all square. Do you remember? We have -1 all square. Then we have -1 square. This one is into bracket. This one is outside the bracket. What they mean here is that we have -1 two times. That is -1 times -1, which is going to give us what? Minus cancel minus. 1 times 1 is what? 1. But looking at this one, this case is different. It means we have minus bracket. How many 1 do we have? We have 2 1. That means 1 raised to power 1. It means 1 times 1. Then giving us what? 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times this will still give us -1. Likewise, something like this, we have 2 raised to power 2 minus 2 is different from -2 raised to power 2. This one will give us -2 times -2, giving us what? 4. Why this one is going to give us what? Minus bracket 2 raised to power 2, which is what? -4. You can see the difference. Please be careful when you are solving something like this. Okay. So what do we have here? We have plus -1 times -1 is going to give us +1. +1. That is 1. Then what do we have now? In order to remove this square, what do we do? What do we do? We square root both sides. Square root both sides. Now, we now have the square root of x minus 1, bracket close, all square, is equal to 15 plus 1 is what? 16. Remember, the last time we met, I told you that once you square this place, you put what? Plus or minus. Thank you. Now, what do we have here now? 2 cancel this. It's going to remain what? X minus 1. Then giving us plus or minus. What is the square root of 16? That is 4. So we have 4. We have 4. So what do we do now? We collect the like times, but the collecting the like times in quadratic equation, you have to be very careful. You don't collect the like time by taking the number, the variables, past the plus or minus. So what do? You say x is equal to this -1. We come to the front of this thing. It will now be 1 plus or minus 4. 1 plus or minus 4. So what do we have now? We have x is equal to, we take it one by one. So we say 1 plus 4 or 1 minus, what is this? 4. So what is my answer now? X is equal to 1 plus 4 is what? 5. Or what do we have here? -3. And that is my final answer to the question given to you the last time we met. All right. Okay, today we say we are moving to what we call formula method, which many people call almighty formula. Almighty formula. Remember vividly, this formula can solve anything, anything quadratic, anything. Even if the question is difficult, you use what? Quadratic formula. You know, I told you, if you could remember, I said factorization method, which is called the general method, cannot solve all quadratic equations. But if you see it like that, what are you going to use? You will use the what? The completing the square method and the what? Or the formula method. Either of the two. Now let's look at it now. We have, you know, this is quadratic equation. Look at it. AX squared, we have plus BX, we have plus C is equal to what? 0. That is quadratic equation. In which A, B, and what? And C are the what? Are the constant. Are the constant. A, B, and C are the constant. So they can be in any form. They can be numbers. So now looking at this now, look at the formula. It says x is equal to minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Now this is what we call formula method, which is quadratic formula. So let's look at some questions under this and let's solve it together. Let's look at some questions together and let us solve this together. The first question, the question says, solve. Let me write it. I'm going to write 3 questions. X squared minus 5x plus 6 is equal to 0. The second one, we have 2x squared plus 7x minus 5 is equal to 0. Then C, we have 4x squared, then 4x squared minus 11x is equal to, we have minus 21. Minus 21. Now, let's look at this question and let's solve this together. Okay? Now, the first question, we have x squared minus 5x then plus 6 is equal to 0. Now, the question now say, using quadratic formula. Quadratic formula. Now, we know that the A, B, C, they are the constant that we are going to make use of. Abi? Now, looking at it, we say my A is what? What is my A? What is the constant of this x squared? 1, correct? We have 1. Then, what is the constant? What is this B? What is the constant here? Minus 5. Please don't forget the sign. Don't forget the operation. Then, the next one, and I have my C. What is my C? The C is what? Plus 6, which is the same thing as what? As 6. Now, we want to use the quadratic formula. So, and what is quadratic formula? It says we have x is equal to what? Minus b plus or minus, then the square root of what? Of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Now, that is it. Now, let's begin to substitute for our constant here. Let's begin to substitute for them. Now, we have x is equal to minus, what is my b? My b is what? Minus 5. Minus 5 plus or minus, then what is my b again? Minus 5, abi? Minus 5 squared. Then I have what? Minus, we have what? 4, then bracket, what is my a? 1. Then, what is my c? C is what? 6. Then everything all over what? All over 2, bracket, what is my a? 1. Now, let's solve this. Let's solve this. Minus times minus is what? Plus 5. And then we have plus or minus the square root of what? The square root of minus 5 times minus 5, 25. Then we have minus 4 times 1, 4. 4 times 6, 24. We have 24. Then all over 2 times 1, we have 2. Then x is equal to plus or minus, is equal to 5 plus or minus the what? The square root of what? 25 minus 24 is what? That is 1. Then everything all over what? All over 2. Then x is equal to, what do we have here? We have 5 plus or minus. Plus or minus, what is the square root of 1? That is 1. All over what? All over 2. Then we segregate this. We segregate this. How do we segregate this? We say now we have x is equal to 5 plus 1 all over 2. Or we take the second sign, which is 5 minus 1 all over 2. So my x is equal to 5 plus 1 is what? That is 6 all over 2. Or 5 minus 1 is what? That is 4 all over 2. Then my final answer here is what? I have what? A final answer. That is 2 here 1, 2 here 3. So x is equal to 3 or 2 here 1, 2 here 2 or 2. And that is my final answer for the first question. I believe you understand this. All right. Now, let's check the second question. The second question. The second question, which is B, 2x squared plus 7x minus 5 is equal to 0. And my constant, A is equal to 2, B is equal to plus 7 is the same thing as 7, and C is equal to minus 5. Now, let's substitute by using quadratic formula. Minus b plus or minus, then the square root of what? Of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. That is a formula. Now let's substitute for our formula now. Let's substitute. Let's substitute. So what do we have here? We have x is equal to minus, what is my b in the question? 7. Then plus or minus, then the square root of, what is my b? 7. That is 7 squared, then minus 4 bracket. What is my a here? My a is 2. And then what is the next one? My c is what? Is minus 5. Minus 5. Everything all over 2 bracket. What is my a again? 2. So I have 2 here. Therefore, my x is equal to, I have minus 7 plus or minus, let me write this third question somewhere around here because I want to clean that one. Minus 21. Okay? Now, then the root, what do we have here? 7 times 7 is what? 49. Then minus times minus, don't forget this minus, please. Don't forget this minus. Minus times minus is what? Plus. 4 times 2 is what? 8. 8 times 5 is what? 40. Do you understand? Then everything all over. 2 times 2 is what? 4. Then I have x is equal to minus 7 plus or minus, okay, let's sum this together. 49 plus 40 is what? That is 89. All over what? All over 4. All over 4. So what do we have now? Now we have x is equal to minus 7 plus or minus. Let's find the square root of 89. Let me get my punching. Okay, let's find the square root of 89. The square root of 89. The square root of 89 gives us, that is 9.43. You can leave it in 2 decimal places, all over 4. Then, I now have what? X. Let me clean this place. Let me clean this place. I want you to see what I'm doing. See what I'm doing. So, we have x is equal to minus 7. We take this one, we take the first operation, which is plus. Look at it. First, we say plus, that is 9.43 all over 4, or we take it again, that is minus 7 minus, that is the second operation, that is 9.43 all over what? All over 4. All over 4. Then giving me what? X is equal to minus 7, then plus 9.443. It gives me, that is 2.43 over 4. Or, then the second one, I have minus 7, then I have minus 9.43. That one give me minus 16.43 all over 4. Then looking at this, if we divide this, if you divide this divided by 4, this will give me minus 4.11, two decimal places. Let me look at this one. That is 2.43 divided by 4, and that will give me 0.58 to two decimal places. And this is the answer for the second question. That is answer. Now, mind you, by using formula method, you can what? You can leave your answer in decimal, so it can happen in decimal. So the last question, let's solve this last question. And look at it. You can see that the constant here, they are bigger constant. It says solve 4x squared minus 11x is equal to minus 21. So what do? We now say we carry this constant to the left-hand side, from right-hand side to left-hand side. So now be 4x squared minus 11x minus 22. Taking it to the other side, we turn to what? Plus 21. So what will be left here is what? Is 0. 0. So what do we do now? Our constants are a is equal to 4, then b is equal to minus 11, and my c is equal to 21. Then using almighty formula, which is x is equal to minus b plus minus, then I have b squared, then minus 4ac all over 2a. Now let's look at this one. Let's look at this. Let's substitute for our what? Our constant that we have here. Let's substitute for it. We have x is equal to, we have minus bracket, what is my b? Minus 11. Thank you. Plus or minus, then the root. What is my b again? I have minus 11 all square minus 4, then bracket open. What is my a? I have 4. Then what is my c? My c is 21. Everything all over what? I have 2, then bracket. What is my a? My a is also 4. My a is also 4. Now let's calculate this together. We have x is equal to minus times minus is what? That is plus. It will give me plus 11, which is the same thing as 11 plus or minus, then the root of what? We have minus 11 times minus 11. That is minus cancel minus. 11 times 11, that is 121. Then minus 4 times 4, that is 16. Then 16, I have 16. Sorry, let me just calculate it like this. I have 16 times 21, 6, 1. I have, and this is 3. That is 336. So I have 336. Then all over, solve it. Let's solve it together. Okay. Now, what do we have here? We have x is equal to 11 plus or minus. Let's solve this. 121, then minus 121 minus 336. It gives me minus 215. 421. Oh, the question. This place is 2. Is 2. Is not 21. Is 2. So if it is 2, 2 will be here. That is 2. 4 times 4, 16. 16 times 2. That is going to give me 32. Sorry. 32. So, and I have what? I have 121 minus 32. It gives me 89. 89. All over, I have 8. This place, sorry, this place is 2. It's not 21, according to the question. So what do we have now? X is equal to 11 plus or minus. What is the square root of 89? Square root of 89 is 9.43 all over 8. Now, what do? We say x is equal to what? We take it 11. What is this one? Plus 9.43 all over what? 8. Or we take it again, 11, second operation, minus, what do we have here? 9.43 all over what? All over 8. Now, we say x is equal to, let me punch this, it's going to give me 11 plus, that is 9.43, giving me 20.43 all over 8. Or, now the second one, let me punch this, we have 11, then minus 9.43, it gives me 1.57 all over 8. So what else? We have, then let's divide this. So I have 20.43 divided by 8. So it gives me 2.55. 2.55. So, or what is the second one? I have 1.57 divided by 8. It gives me what? Is 0.196 or 0.19, or I can say 0.20. And this one can also be 60. And this is my answer for the third question. This is my answer for the third question. And looking at this, let me write one question, and then once you solve it, then you drop your comment, drop your result at the comment section for us to see and check if you are what? You are right with the question. Now let me quickly write the question on the board. Let me write the question on the board. What is the question? The question is, we have solved x squared minus 2x minus 3 is equal to 0. Solve this using quadratic what formula? Using quadratic formula. Now, please, once you solve this, you drop your comments, your answer at the comment section for us to see and check if it is correct. Now, by next time, we'll be moving to the fourth method. You know, we have done the general method, we've done the completing the square method, and we just finished the quadratic formula method, and the last one is going to be the graphical method. So I will see you next time. So once you finish this, please submit or give your answer at the comment section. So remain the same person. Bibola Temitope. See you next time. Bye for now.